Hey guys, I've created this video just for you. So we're going to start in child's pose. Come onto your hands and knees. The hands are about shoulder width apart. Knees can be as wide as you'd like. Big toes are touching or close together. So keeping the hands out in front of you a little bit, let's start with a wrist stretch. So take an inhale. Exhale, lean forward over your hands, getting a nice stretch in the front of the wrist. Keeping the palms on the mat, being careful not to let the palms peel off the mat. Pressing the hands. Take another inhale. Shoulders are relaxed. And exhale, press the hips back towards the heels. Reaching the arms out nice and long, long spine, bringing the forehead to the mat or the floor. Getting a big stretch in the arms. If you'd like, if the forehead doesn't make it to the mat or isn't touching, you can stack the hands to touch the forehead, or you can make fists, but not holding on for dear life. Just a nice loose fist here, just enough to bring the forehead to the hands so that there is connection there, and then rock your head side to side. You can come back up onto the hands and knees. We're going to move into a face down shoulder stretch. So coming onto the belly. We've done this, it's been a while since we've done this, so listen carefully. You'll come onto the belly. The right arm comes out beside you. So it's kind of in a half of, so if this is a Y, just half of a Y. Not too far up, not too far down. Just right, right? So the fingers are in line with the eyes. Keep the left hand under the left shoulder. And once you've got your arm, right arm set up, look to the left. Keeping the left hand under the left shoulder, bend the left knee. Keeping the arm, the right arm, just where it is without letting it shimmy up or down. It might want to move around a little bit. So keeping it planted right where it is. Take an inhale, left knee is bent. And exhale, press yourself up and over, so that you can keep the left knee bent and maybe touch the toes or the sole of the foot flat. It's a big twist as well a little bit, but you're really opening up the front of the right shoulder, anterior deltoid, the forearm, nice big stretch there. It should feel really good. So if the arm has moved up or down and you're not feeling the stretch, go ahead and readjust the arm so that you're getting into that shoulder and the chest. If the foot doesn't come, the left foot doesn't come to the mat, no worries, just go where you can. You can just roll that left hip over a little bit, really getting into the front of the chest there on the right side, and the arm and shoulder, right? So again, oh, and one more thing, if your head is having a hard time making it to the mat in this position, you could have a pillow or a block under the head just for a little bit of extra support if needed. So if the left leg is bent and the sole of the foot is touching, and you feel like the pose has moved deeply enough into your body that you could go a little bit deeper, go to the next edge, that would mean bending the right leg. You could test it out if it's too intense or too much or not available. Don't worry, just stay at your edge. So you could have both feet flat. And if it feels good, you could reach around behind you with the left arm. And just keep it right where it is. So we're going to do the other side as well. So holding this for a few, maybe 10 or 15 long, deep breaths, big inhales. It's a little more challenging with the twist. Just breathe as best you can, and long, extra long exhales, relaxing more and more. Every exhale, the front of the shoulder opening, more space, more mobility in that right shoulder. Opening the chest, creating more wingspan. Better reach, the forearm stretching, even the wrist and the palm. I'm getting a little bit of a stretch here. Whenever we hold our phones all day, we want to open those hands. And after a little bit of time, after your 15 or 20 breaths or 1 or 2 minutes, you can go ahead and roll very slowly, straighten the right leg if it's bent, and begin to roll yourself back onto the belly. And go ahead and slide that right hand under the right shoulder, rearrange, come back onto the belly, bring the left arm out to the side. Let's see if you can see. Left arm out, kind of in a Y position. Make sure the eyes are in line with the fingers there. Look to the right. Let the head relax. You could have a block, a smaller block, or just even a small pillow under the head if needed. Right hand under the right shoulder, looking to the right. Bend the right knee. Take an inhale. Keeping the left arm nice and planted onto the mat or the floor. Exhale, push yourself up and over. Keeping the left arm right where it is. You could bend the right knee, have the sole of the foot or the toes on the floor. Or you could keep the right leg straight, but just keep rocking over to the right side with that right hip, creating a little bit of a twist. The biggest point of this pose is to get into the shoulder. So you want to feel that big stretch in the anterior deltoid on the left shoulder, the chest, the forearm, the wrist, even in the palm. And if you're not feeling the pose, maybe slide the hand, the arm up a little bit or a little back further down, just finding that spot where you do feel that deep stretch on the front of the left shoulder. And after about 10 or 15, nice long, or 15 or 20, nice long, deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. If your body opens up with some time, you could bend the left leg maybe, the sole of the foot flat, maybe. Just continue to breathe, relaxing in that left shoulder, in the front of the chest, or the left side chest. Remember to unclench the jaw, relax the mind, the breath, continuing to breathe. Continuing to use the breath to relax deeper and deeper into the pose, and the pose moving deeper and deeper into that left shoulder, chest, and arm. So make sure you're at your edge, not too much, not too little. You want to get to that place where you can give up that resistance that we talk about, or that we've discussed, letting go of any tension or anything that's making you hold on. You want to let go. Let the pose move into the body with time and gravity. My goodness, that's the biggest fly I've ever seen in my life, flying around. All right, after your time here, opening the left shoulder, go ahead, rock back over onto your belly. I'm going to come back onto my mat here. And bring your arms down by your sides. Look to the right. Let your left ear come to the mat. Shoulders out of the ears. Take a breath. And then lift the head. Look to the left. And let your right ear come towards the mat. If your neck is tight, it's probably going to mean that your shoulders are also tight. Everything is connected. So doing this shoulder opener is very good for increasing your peripheral vision, and also, again, your wingspan and reach. Bring the hands under the shoulders and slowly begin to push yourself away from the mat. Coming up to the hands and knees, bring your right knee to the right wrist, and we're going to move into, actually let's move into 90-90 to start. So coming onto the right hip, bring the right leg out in front of you, the top of the leg, the quad, thigh is in line with the mat. The heel directly out of the knee, the lead leg, back leg. Same deal, 90 degrees. Make sure you're set up and you have the 90-degree angle so that you get as much as you can out of this pose. The left knee is directly out of that hip. Heel, you could draw a straight line from the knee to the back heel, the heel on the left foot. Both feet are flexed. The back of the left leg calf can be lined up with the edge of the mat there as well to help with your 90-degree position. Take your hand, left hand, place it on the sole of the right foot. Use your right hand to press yourself up, nice and tall, long spine, chest lifted. Deep breath into the belly. As you exhale, lift the chest again. Imagine bringing the belly button beyond that front leg, coming over as far as you can. If you need to, if this is your edge, find a place where you can relax here. Getting into that right hip on the outside, the glute, the low back, even up and down the side of the right leg. And maybe for the last 5 or 10 breaths, you could see if you could go a little deeper and come on all the way down. Bring the forehead to the back of the hand and hold it here in complete relaxation. So once you've held 90-90 for 10 to 20 breaths or 1 to 2 minutes, depending on how much time you have, a little is better than nothing. Bring the hands under the shoulders to slowly press yourself back up. So from here, I want you to move into pigeon pose. So simply bring the right heel in towards the groin, straighten the left leg behind you. The right hip can come off the mat just slightly if you need it to, which it will, more than likely. And then let the right hip kind of hang out in space there, creating a little bit of a, you could even kind of rock side to side to make sure you're at that edge where you're going to feel the pose. If you're not feeling a stretch in the right hip right now, because you have a little bit more flexibility, you can bring the right foot further out and see if you get a deeper stretch that way. Otherwise, just keep the heel, the foot in close to the groin, protecting the knee. Keep the right hip nice and relaxed. And if you feel any pain in the right knee, very carefully come back out of this and just move back into your 90-90 and repeat 90-90 for a second set. Otherwise, you're in your pigeon. And another way to do pigeon, if it's too intense to be here, is to simply lean back on the hands, chest lifted, cross the right leg over the left. The left leg can be a little further out or further in depending on your level of flexibility, your edge. So wherever you need to be to feel this stretch. The foot is flexed on top, pressing into the floor, chest lifted. Pulling that right knee out towards away from the body a little bit, getting into that right outer hip. So you can either be in pigeon here or propped up, or for a second set of 90-90. So once you're in pigeon or your second set of 90-90, you want to hold that same deal with a relaxed jaw, using the breath, holding it long enough to allow the pose to move into the body. Now swing the legs around. Bring the blocks to the left side. Come onto the hands and knees. Bring the left knee to the left, 90-90 to start. Bring the left leg forward first, and then the right leg comes behind the lead leg, knee directly out of the hip. The bottom of the leg lined up with the mat, sole of the foot flat, or the right foot flat, toes flexed, foot flexed. The left leg lined up with the edge of the mat, heel out of the knee, right hand on the sole of the left foot. Inhale, lift the chest, nice long spine. Press yourself up using the left hand so that the spine stays nice and long, you're nice and tall. Exhale, leading with the belly button, come over the left leg. Find a place where you can hold it. in complete relaxation and complete stillness. Feeling a big, big stretch on the left side and the hip, up and down the left side of the leg even, the glutes, all up and down the left side of the hip, even into the low back. You're going to hold this for your 10 or 15 or 20 breaths. You can come on down all the way if that's available for you. And you can keep the right hand on the sole of the left foot, so just let that foot relax, but keeping it flexed. Nice and just a little support there. And just hold it for your amount of time with the relaxed breath, relaxed jaw. Once you've held this side, go ahead, bring the hands under the shoulders to press yourself away from the mat to come back up. Simply bring the left heel in towards the groin, straighten the right leg behind you, lifting the left hip up off the mat just enough to straighten the right leg, okay? So if this is uncomfortable on the knee, again, you can find pigeon by coming onto your bum, bringing the hands behind you to lift yourself up nice and tall, chest lifted. So if you're kind of slouching, you're really not going to get what you need out of this pose. Take the hand, maybe the right leg is bent, but you could have the foot further out or closer in depending on your level of flexibility where you are today. Take that left leg, cross it over the right, the ankle over the knees. You're not pressing the ankle into the knee. The top foot is flexed flat, toes are back. You can stay here or you can pull the right leg in depending on where you are. You want to feel the pose on the outside of the left hip. So whether you're on your belly or propped up in king pigeon in the other position or like this, you want to use your breath again to take the breath into the hip. Inhale. As you exhale, maybe even pull the left knee towards away from the body, getting deeper into the outside hip. So being here for 10, 15, 20 breaths, or if you are here in pigeon, or here, wherever you are, holding it for time, allowing the mind and body to, the breath to relax the mind and body, so the pose can move deeper into that left hip. And once you've held pigeon for some time, or your second round of 90-90, depending on where you are today, push yourself back up, bring the right knee forward, bring the left foot out in front of you for a wheel of life, so the sole of the foot, left foot, then bring the right knee into that sole of the foot. Bring your blocks around to the left, getting yourself situated, set up for wheel of life. All right, left hand under the left shoulder. You've got your blocks set up, ready to go. Nice long spine. Inhale. Exhale, keeping the left hand under the left shoulder for support to keep yourself propped up. I want you to reach around with the right arm. You can bring the hand to the floor, walk your hand around to the left. As you bring your torso to the blocks, your face, look to the left, maybe the cheek on the right cheek on the block. Keep reaching around with the right arm, left hand in the floor, palm of the hand in the floor. Inhale, press into the floor. Exhale, reach around to the left. Big, big stretch up and down the left side of the body, opening the neck, under the shoulders, the chest, the shoulders, the back, the hips. Come back up. Simply bring the left heel in towards the groin, straighten the right leg behind you, lifting the left hip up off the mat, peripheral vision, being able to see in all directions. Okay? So if this is uncomfortable on the knee, again, you can find pigeon by coming
nice and open.
onto your
so
bum,
that you can
bringing the
see
hands
everything
behind you
that's
to
happening
lift
around
yourself
you.
up nice and tall, chest lifted. So if you're kind of slouching,
Opening
you're
the
really not going to
chest
get
here a little
what you
bit
need out of
too,
this pose.
increasing wingspan
Take the
even
hand,
more.
maybe the right leg is bent, but you could have the foot further out or
And then
closer in,
once you've
depending
held
on your
this
level of
for
flexibility
10,
where you are
20
today.
breaths,
Take that left leg, cross it over the right,
long
the
exhales, about the
ankle
time you want to come
over
out of the pose,
the
even
knees. You're not
after
pressing the
holding
ankle
it
into
for
the knee.
your
The
prescribed
top
amount of
foot is
time, the time
flexed
that you've
flat,
decided to
toes are
hold it
back.
today. I
You
want you
can
to give it
stay
about 3 more
here,
breaths.
or you can pull the right leg in, depending on where
So
you are.
resisting
You
that
want to
urge
feel
to
the pose
move.
on the outside of
Just
the
be
left
with
hip.
it.
So whether
3
you're on your
more
belly or
breaths.
propped up in king pigeon, in the
And
other
once you've
position, or
completed
like
that,
this,
bring
you want
your
to
right hand
use
under
your
the right
breath again to
shoulder,
take the breath into
left
the hip.
hand under the
Inhale.
left shoulder, and
As you
inhale.
exhale, maybe
As
even
you exhale, press
pull the
yourself
left knee away from the body, getting
mat.
deeper into the outside
Untwist.
hip. Whew. And shake it out. Some windshield wipers. And once you've held pigeon for some time, or your second round of 90-90, depending on where you are today, push yourself back up. Bring the right knee forward. Bring the left foot out in front of you for a wheel of life. So the sole of the foot, left foot, then bring the right knee into that sole of the foot. Bring your blocks around to the left, getting yourself situated, set up for wheel of life. All right, left hand under the left shoulder. You've got your blocks set up, ready to go. Nice long spine. Inhale. Exhale, keeping the left hand under the left shoulder for support to keep yourself propped up. I want you to reach around with the right arm. You can bring the hand to the floor, walk your hand around to the left. As you bring your torso to the blocks, your face, look to the left, maybe the cheek on the right cheek on the block. Keep reaching around with the right arm, left hand in the floor, palm of the hand in the floor. Inhale, press into the floor. Exhale, reach around to the left. Big, big stretch up and down the left side of the body, opening the neck, the chest, the shoulders, the back, the hips. Increasing your peripheral vision, being able to see in all directions. See who's coming and going, just keeping that neck good, nice and open so that you can see everything that's happening around you. Opening the chest here a little bit too, increasing wingspan even more. And then once you've held this for 10, 20 breaths, long exhales, about the time you want to come out of the pose, even after holding it for your prescribed amount of time, the time that you've decided to hold it today, I want you to give it about 3 more breaths. So resisting that urge to move. Just be with it. 3 more breaths. And once you've completed that, bring your right hand under the right shoulder, left hand under the left shoulder, and inhale. As you exhale, press yourself away from the floor or the mat. Untwist. Whew. And shake it out. So you can finish off with hero's toes tucked to open the bottoms of the feet. This is your power. You can come up onto the knees, reach around and tuck the toes under. Make sure the pinky toes are tucked as well. The knees are side by side, heels directly up towards the ceiling. You can bring your hands to a couple of books or a block. Keep your weight forward slightly and then slowly bring the hips back to the heels until you're able to come into a more upright position. Getting deep into the toes. If you have any plantar fasciitis or any stiffness in the toes, but any plantar fasciitis or any issues with the Achilles tendon, this is really going to help a lot with that. Just be sure there's no sharp pain. It also increases your mental toughness and your ability to focus in any kind of situation that's super uncomfortable. So finding that spot out in front of you to focus and begin to soften the gaze. You could even close your eyes if you'd like, and just make sure the jaw is good and relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. We're not holding on to any tension or resistance. As best you can. Getting into the toes, the bottoms of the feet, into the heels, the ankles, the whole, even into the calves a little. Creating, helping create more power and push off for your verticals. It's so important to take care of the feet. And once you've held this for 10 to 20 nice long breaths, maybe challenge yourself with 3 or 4 more breaths here. If it becomes too easy, you can bring the hands behind you, lean back a little bit more, keeping the knees on the mat. And after you've held for time, with the completely relaxed jaw, go ahead and bring your body weight forward slightly to untuck the toes. You can tap the tops of the feet. And then go ahead and bring your hips, knees side by side, feet side by side. Bring your hips back to the heels for a nice counter stretch, stretching the fronts of the ankles, tops of the feet. And if you need a little bit more, bring the hands behind you. You could even rock back and lift the knees up off the mat. That's it, guys. Nice work. I'll see you soon.